Episode 4. The Spoils of War, Vic. The Spoils of War. And man, what a freaking episode. I mean, this is first of all, this is the episode that was leaked a couple of days earlier by some hackers on HBO. And yet, with that, the people that actually saw that episode, they hyped up this episode so much that HBO didn't lose viewership like they thought they were going to be losing viewership. They actually doubled because the people who saw it were like, yo, this is probably the best episode of the season, if not one of the top 10, top 5 episodes of the whole series. And so there was a lot of hype on this episode, and man, it was good. It was good. So yeah, let's talk about it. So Winterfell, let's start off in Winterfell. We gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about it, Vic. Arya Stark. Arya showing off her moves with Brienne. I'm loving it. I'm loving that Arya is is showing off her skills. Now, I want to ask you this question. This was something that was brought up online by a lot of people, and they were saying that how can Arya be that skilled of a fighter when technically she wasn't really trained that much when she was in the trained by the Man with No Faces. Sure, she had training, and you saw some of her fighting moves from when she was a little bit younger with the swordsman. So you saw a little bit of that, but do you buy how skilled of a warrior Arya is fighting Brienne?
Yes, I do, and this is why. And you got to apply. I'm applying both to fantasy. I'm also going to apply it to real life. In real life, it's like someone training in boxing or a single martial art like karate and stuff. It'll take you years to get to really like a certain point where you could really be good at like using it on the streets or against other people in competition and yada yada to get to a certain skill level. But let's say you learn MMA, okay? You could compete a year of doing MMA with someone who's doing 10 years of karate. Because it's not the fact that, okay, this person has more skill when it comes to stand-up an MMA fighter, but the fact that the person has more fucking skills overall. Okay, even if they're all the basics and stuff and the person doesn't quite have it down packed, okay, you doing MMA for a year versus someone who's been boxing for 10 years and stuff, you'll be able to compete with that person and possibly be able to beat that person. And I've seen this, you know what I'm saying? And I can speak from my own personal experience as well, okay? Now, when it comes to fantasy and stuff, let's talk about this fantasy world where in the sense that we don't really know exactly what the kind of timeline she's been training and stuff. Like we know, like, and looking at episodes, it's like
we've seen snippets.
It looks like she's like only been training for like a few weeks or whatever, days or months. We really don't know. Not to mention, we don't really know how good Jaqen is. See, the way I look at this fantasy world and where they live in, the people who's gonna be the best, Brienne she's a single skill kind of fighter. She has her like her knight abilities, I call it, you know what I'm saying, where she has her knight techniques and stuff, where she's trained as a knight. Okay,
right?
Yeah, she was brawling it out with the Hound and stuff like that. That he really brought that out.
She beat the Hound.
Yeah, she beat him.
Yeah, she beat that.
But Arya is been training more multiple skills and stuff, you know what I'm saying, as an assassin, and also has this kind of like magical type abilities and stuff. Jaqen was good. Jaqen had called the shot. He said, listen, I could kill anybody I want. I could go kill whoever. Just give me a name and I'll make it happen regardless of who the person is. Just showing how good Jaqen is. And I was always curious about in this world, like, who is the best? Is it Jaime before he lost his hands? You know what I'm saying? Is it the Hound? Is it the Mountain? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was very that uncertainty thing and stuff. After this episode, now I know who is the best. And I'm not going to say Arya. It's Jaqen. Jaqen is the greatest fighter in the history of that world. Just based off of how good Arya was in such a short period of time. And Arya could also be a prodigy too, because mind you, she was also being trained by Jaqen, and also she had training prior to Jaqen from a swords master. Before that, you know what I'm saying? Before, this was during the time when she was still in Winterfell, when she first came to King's Landing. She was being trained prior to that. So she had a certain, a skill set prior to actually being trained by Jaqen. She's combining that with Jaqen's training based off her experience that she's been going ahead and doing, okay? Based off other things that she's witnessed, you know, saying like watching her father and her brothers train growing up and stuff, and wanted to mix it up with them as well. So I do get that. Not to mention that Brienne also kind of slept on her from the beginning, because mind you, she didn't even want to like train with her like that.
She didn't want to fight her, yeah.
Then she realized how good this girl was, and it's more and more as like it would go on. Then she got full serious with her and stuff, and she ended up.
But it was too late.
Yeah. Well, they were evenly matched. Like once Brienne took her all the way serious, you found at the end of the day, but they were both evenly matched because they both could have one shot each other at that point. So,
Right.
so you're like, okay, Arya's good, and Arya could actually surpass someone like Brienne, and she has to train with someone on Brienne's skill level, which would bring it would bring both their levels up as well. So it's really interesting and stuff. And I also like the fact that Brienne asked like, "Who trained you and stuff?" And she was like, "No one."
No one.
I thought that was fucking good. I thought it was classic. I also like the look on Sansa's and Littlefinger's face because she was like really in awe. Like she was like, "What the fuck is this girl? Who is she? This ain't my sister. Like what the fuck? Like how is she that good?" You know?
But not even all. Not even all. It was like at first she's like, "Oh look, she's trying to fight," and then when she saw that, she had that mean face, like this bitch. Like who the like she's an actual warrior. I remember.
Yeah, she's living in fucking castles, and this chick here is being Xena, warrior, fucking princess and shit. You know? I mean, it's a definitely it shows you her growth and stuff, and I really do like that and stuff.
Yeah.
So I buy it. I do buy it.
Okay.
Because we don't really know how
Cool.
good Jacques Kent is either. You know what I'm saying? That's the other thing.
Right.
We may never really know. And don't worry.
And again, it's all like you said. We've only saw snippets. You know, we're not there. We're not. This isn't the Arya show. So
And also, when you
just
see
because we
her
don't-
train doing the other stuff, she's training with people with Jacques Kent's skill level. Other people like that.
Right.
Mind you, you'll look better when you're going up against someone who's not as skilled as you. Okay, I call it
Right.
the jobber effect. Like when you watch WWE or whatever, you want to like really
Yeah.
promote somebody and stuff as being like this unstoppable force. Put up against jobbers, because the minute you put him up against
Right.
like a seasoned wrestler or whatever, right? You know he's not gonna
It
look
changes it.
as fucking good. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing about it. She didn't look as impressive just based off the fact of who she was being trained by. Jacques Kent is gonna sleep
Right.
on her. Same thing with this chick and stuff, which she actually ended up beating after she was mortally wounded. So it does show you. Like this is where her skill level is, and she has other skill
Right.
levels that Jacques Kent trained her for. Mind you, she could attack from behind without really being noticed and stuff because she was blind for certain years. That other chick never
Right.
had that training. Okay, so Arya's been through so much shit and stuff that she's fucking like, like she is as good as she is. I mean, look, she's living with the Hound. Hound is one of the greatest fucking warriors that in that history of that fucking world. Okay, easily he's top 10. Right now, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's easily top 10. No one ever denies that. I mean, his name is feared throughout the entire region and all throughout Westeros, and even in Essos,
Right.
he's even known. Okay, so he's the Hound. She was living with him. She's seen him. She's fighting alongside of him. You know what I'm saying? Her father was an amazing fucking swordsman. Her brothers were amazing swordsmen. She was trained by an amazing swordsman. So I believe it.
Yeah, I mean, and again, and it's cool to see Arya growing as to becoming that assassin that we all knew she was gonna be, and that she probably is already.
Littlefinger was giving her. I'm like, what the fuck are you looking at? I like how she looked at him back, and I'm like thinking about that. I'm like, is he on the list? I was a little confused.
Maybe.
I don't remember the history with her and him, but I know she doesn't like him. That's obvious.
Yeah. Speaking of Littlefinger, we have Littlefinger in his meeting with Professor X. I mean, Bran. Bran, who has the first ever wheelchair ever made in those years, in that time period. And it's so funny because Bran is becoming less and less like Bran and more like the Three-Eyed Raven. He's becoming very cold, very like, not robotic, but he's becoming more of that spiritual type of character that really has no connection.
Kind of monotone in a lot of ways and stuff.
Yeah.
Even when this chick was like saying her goodbyes to him, he was like, okay, bye. She's like, but what the fuck? Like, no, thank you. Like, motherfucker, I saved your life. I've been dragging you throughout all of fucking Westeros and shit. You know what I'm saying? I got you here safe and sound. How many people have died in the process of getting you to this point and stuff? And all you're going to say is bye,
I know that there's a lot of girls in like bad relationships who are like, my boy X did that to me when I did all that shit for him and he just says bye. Like, what the fuck?
Fucking deuced her like she was nothing, like she was trash. He dismissed her like, what the fuck? Like, chick, you.
She's like, I dragged you around when you couldn't move. And he's like, bye.
She's like, listen, I loved your crippled ass when no one else would. Okay, so what the fuck?
Now you the Three-Eyed Raven and you think you the shit now? All right.
Yeah, she thought that she was like, I wasn't really sure how that fucking like that whole thing was gonna play out. I'm like, is he gonna like they're gonna have like this kind of romantic moment where she's gonna
Hell no, not with
fucking
him.
lean in, and he's just gonna give her the fucking cheek.
He didn't even give her that. He was just too robotic. But yeah, I mean, Bran is no longer Bran. Although, it's funny because when Littlefinger gives him the dagger that tried to kill him, Bran gave him that quote that Littlefinger said. He's like, using chaos as a ladder, which he said to Varys a long time ago, when they were talking about what is the best thing to do to make it in the Game of Thrones. And Varys always said that, it's good to have control because you're able to control where you go. Whereas Littlefinger said, no, chaos is great because when you have chaos, you're able to kind of sneak through the chaos and work your way up. And so for Bran to say that, you saw in Littlefinger's face, how do you, why would you say something like that, kind of thing. And it's going to be interesting to see what Bran, says about this dagger. Does he know, is it Littlefinger that tried to kill him? Did Littlefinger have somebody sent to kill him? So it's going to be interesting to see, because it seems like Bran, I don't know how far he's going to go in letting people know what he knows, because since he knows everything, he's seen everything, he knows everything. It's going to be interesting to see what information he gives people.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of said that he doesn't quite understand what he's seeing. So I don't think he's saying anything now because he hasn't confirmed anything. And also, they also established him as being this weird kind of emo type kid and stuff. So, so it's, his connection to people, now is kind of standoffish because people don't even want to kind of be around him because they don't know what this kid's going to say or what he really knows about them. I mean, Sansa knows that he knows the most intimate fucking details on her life that none of her brothers should ever know. She didn't even want fucking Theon to even know what the fuck was happening. He was there when it was happening, So it's like, even when Arya was there, I love this season too, mind you, with all these reunions, because these are characters that never had any interaction with each other before. Now they're
for
all
a long time,
directly in each other's stories, and I thought this was so great. Okay, this is the first time Arya and Sansa's meeting again since season 1. You know what I'm saying? This is the first time Arya and fucking Bran are together. This is the first time Sansa and Bran. I mean, it's fucking great. I really love that. All these, favorite characters, all these, main characters are kind of just intertwining with each other, and their roads are, crossing paths, and it's working out great. I love this. And
I like that he told Arya too, and piggybacking to what you were saying, that he doesn't really know what time happens at what time. When he told Arya, she's like, "Oh, I'm back." He's like, "Oh, I'm surprised. I thought that you wouldn't come back here."
Yeah, he's like, "She got this list and stuff." And he's like, "How do you know about the list and stuff?" And this chick's telling him he's got visions and stuff. I was like, the fact he gave her the dagger.
He gave her the dagger.
And he was like, what can I do this for? I'm a cripple and stuff. You're an amazing warrior. This will suit you better. So I guess he kind of knows where her path is going to lead, but she's going to need this. So, which means that she's probably going to be fighting White Walkers in the future.
Yep. Speaking of White Walkers and magic and all that stuff, let's go on to Daenerys and Jon Snow. He's taking on their first date. Their first date inside the caves. He's like, "Hey, look, baby, why don't we go in this cave real quick? Let me touch your hand. Let me guide your hand. Let me guide that torch to tell you exactly what I've been trying to tell you this whole time." A lot of people online were saying that was him being a smooth operator, just showing her the cave, giving her that look, guiding her hand with the torch.
Yeah,
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, I mean that's funny, but that's not the case. He was just really just trying to get her on Team John's side. You know what I'm saying? Because he's still letting her know. Once again, he's showing her hard evidence. Like it's not this battle for the Seven Kingdoms is not the main battle. It's these guys here, and she's like, "Listen, look, the children of the Forest are fighting alongside the First of Men against the White Walkers," and he's showing them, and he's showing her. So now she's starting to really believe, but then you kind of see that she reels that back when she gets fucking more war updates and stuff, about say the Unsullied are being stranded and stuff, and saying in fact saying the Queen of the Thorns kingdom has been conquered and stuff. So now she really wants to use these dragons and stuff. So I thought that was an interesting thing and stuff. It's I like what Game of Thrones does. It's they kind of lead you one way. There's something, a wrinkle comes into the plan, and then that has it shift another way. And now this is the first time she actually came to John for counsel. She's like, I don't need to hear from his ass no more. You're a warrior. You're a leader. What should I do?
Yeah.
And he was letting her know, like, don't be using those dragons and stuff like that and stuff, because he's right about that. So he was, backing Tyrion's play and stuff.
Yeah, because they both knew, it's like, look, you can't be using the dragons to take over stuff.
But she didn't really listen either, though, because obviously what happens is the fucking battle of fucking
Woo!
of all time fucking goes down. Fucking, the Lannister army versus fucking, the Dothraki / dragons and stuff. That's fucking crazy. Woo! I thought that shit was sick. I really did. I mean, at one point, it's just the calm, because Jaime's talking to, like, everybody and stuff, Braun and everybody else, and he's just like, there's like, okay, let's take the gold back there and stuff, and let's give the Iron Bank their money. They're talking about castles, and Jaime's saying you don't want this castle because this chick's coming for it, and you don't want to be there when the dragons come. So he kind of already knows that and stuff. So I'm thinking to myself, like, is it about to go down now? And sure enough, here, this guy's like, wait a second, what's going on? And next thing you know, they hear these assholes coming and shit, and it's fucking on. I thought that was fucking great.
And it's great if any of you get a chance to see the behind the scenes. HBO always, after every episode online, they put behind the scenes of how they did certain things. And it's great to see that most of, other than the dragon, obviously, most of that was practical effects. So the explosions, the fires were real. The men on top of the horses which I thought was so cool when they jumped on top of the horses and started shooting the bow and arrow, that was real. And it's just, again, it just shows the power of the Dothraki. All this time we were talking about, you don't want to fight the Dothraki. You don't want to fight the Dothraki. And the Dothraki came, and we see how vicious they are, how crazy they are in battle.
I mean, the Dothraki were good, but I felt like they were being overplayed for what they were, because they were making it seem like the Dothraki was really beating them. I don't think Dothraki was beating them. I really don't.
Well, no, obviously the dragon helped. The dragon
didn't help, kid. It was fucking scorching their ass. It didn't help. They were fucking, these dudes were using like small arms fires versus fucking like heavy artillery with this dragon. This fucking thing came out there.
It's a bomber.
Yeah. It was taking out. It flanked their whole fucking like saying the entire fucking the side of their fucking armada and shit. It took out an entire fucking roll of fucking Lannister army. And not to mention, it also added to the fear, because once they saw this dragon come, they were all very fearful beforehand. So I don't think the Dothraki were really as impressive. Like I said, listen, you can't have Dothraki fight, trained seasoned soldiers, because you saw that when they were actually fighting the Dothraki really weren't winning. They weren't really winning. Like, they were getting like some moments on them, and the Dothraki act like they were like, oh, the Lannisters can't fight. Listen, when you got fucking a dragon behind you, yes, you're gonna look like you're not gonna be on top form either. Okay? I mean, that's just reality and stuff. You know what I'm saying? When you fucking fighting that kind of fucking power, it's really hard to really get your mind into that fucking fight when you're not worried about fucking looking up over your head, and you gotta fucking look at the man in front of you. They were more worried about what's flying above them versus the dude who's coming straight at them. I mean, it was fucking crazy. Because even you saw with Jaime and Braun and Jaime been through a lot of battles. Even they were looking at the shard, the ashes of the fallen. And even they were like, fuck, man, what the fuck? How do we take this thing out?
Yeah. And they tried. They revealed the scorpion, which was what Qyburn was working on last episode. And so they finally used it, and it pierced. It pierced the skin of the dragon, and, the dragon fell. So I thought that was cool that they, they're definitely hinting at that scorpion thing to be a key to the future of the Lannister army, to kind of figure out how to...
It's going to beat them and stuff, because this is the biggest dragon she has, and it almost killed it.
Right.
The only reason why that dragon survived is because it didn't hit it directly on the money.
It hit his shoulder.
Yeah. That was really it. And, this is what Tyrion was letting her know, and Jon Snow was letting her know, like, if you get on that fucking dragon, the dragon might be invincible, but you're not. And those arrows almost hit her, and she almost fucking got crushed to death when this thing almost hit the ground. So it's like, chick, you can die. Like, this shit fucking like fucking like
with no armor either. She had no armor. She had nothing. She was just straight up just on the back of that dragon.
Well, you don't want to wear armor with that, because it's gonna weigh it down some more and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You really don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You don't.
Well, no, I mean her wearing like not even some type of armor, not the dragon.
No, that's what I mean. Like even with her wearing armor on top of a dragon and stuff. Yeah, the dragon's big and it's heavy and stuff, but it's gonna slow it down a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Ah,
It,
okay.
it
Okay.
will it will do a little bit, not much, but it will do a little bit and
Right.
stuff. And she wants to have some head movement too and stuff, not having like wearing a big ass helmet and stuff when she's trying to control this thing. You know.
True.
So it still goes back
But
to that.
yeah,
You got to do like How to Train
I-
Dragon style. You know what I'm saying? You got to kind of go.
Well, they got armor. They got armor on How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
It's not heavy. It's not heavy armor, but it's at least protecting them. It's like when you ride a motorcycle. You're not.
Yeah, she has.
It's like when you ride a motorcycle, you wear a motorcycle jacket. It's nothing like crazy. It's just you got to wear something just in case. Shit happens like it happened in this episode.
Well, she was.
I like
she was
how-
a hothead though. She was a hothead. She would try to
Yeah.
go in there and fucking try to show them who's boss, and she almost got dealt with in the process.
Well, that's that Targaryen blood in her. Everybody keeps saying, she is Targaryen. Targaryens have that blood in them that just makes them, very angry, very, mad kingish. I liked how the dragon destroyed the scorpion as soon as it landed, like with its tail. It was like this and he just destroyed it. Yeah. It was so pissed off. It was like, I hate all of you. I hate all you wooden things. And then the interesting part was like Jaime just being like, well, I got to take her out, and just kind of getting on the horse, trying to harpoon her ass, and seeing, having Tyrion. And I love the acting by Peter Dinklage. Basically it's like this is his former home countryman getting burnt alive. And now he's seeing his brother running towards the dragon. And he's like, you idiot, don't do that. Like, what are you doing? And then at the last second, Bronn saves Jaime's life, or so it seems. But it was just so interesting to see Jaime, who's kind of been in battle for all these years, to kind of just, that's like the ultimate Hail Mary pass. Like, he's like, look, I might die, but I want to at least try to spear her and get her out of the picture.
No, he knows once he kills her, the war is done, because that's it. That's the only claim to the throne they have. The Dothraki will be leaderless. They'll be running around the land doing what Dothraki's doing, and they'll be able to pick them off like no problem. The alliances will crumble at that point. That will be it. Don Soli would
I
have
get
no
that, but
leader
she's
to
in front of
follow.
a dragon. I get that, but she's in front of a big ass dragon.
Well, you got to
so,
do what you got
that's-
to do and stuff. Mind you, Jaime isn't really fighting for Cersei's like campaign. He's really fighting for Cersei herself. He's trying to protect his beloved. He knows this chick is coming to kill, saying his woman and stuff. He's gonna go ahead and sacrifice himself for her. He knew that. He knew that. Listen, after I kill her, this dragon's gonna be so pissed off on what I did to his mother. He's gonna fucking burn me alive or fucking eat me and shit. It don't matter. I'm gonna fucking. Like, he knew at that moment he was gonna get killed. His whole plan was to get killed. But he said, "I'm gonna die, but I'm gonna fucking take you out with me, chick." And that's it. And after this, Cersei's fine. That's it. And all we gotta do, then Cersei could go out there and run shit how she wants to run it and stuff. And eventually she'll take back the North as well. He knows this.
Yeah.
As long as he takes her out, think about that. Like, who's left? The Queen of Thorns just been killed. Okay, the Dornish Queen has been killed. Well, she's in the process of dying actually. You know what I'm saying? You got the fucking the Iron Islands fucking Yara. She's done too. You know what I'm saying? There's really no one left. The Dothraki really have no leader. She was their leader. They would find another Dothraki leader, which is probably that guy who was up with Tyrion and stuff, which is probably their leader now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The whole purpose of Unsoli was to follow her. You know what I'm saying? And they're on a stranded on a fucking saying and Castle Lee Rock by themselves, and eventually they'll get picked off. That's it. You take her out, you won. That's it. It's the end of the war. That's the great thing about that. It's like, no, the fucking, the king, the queen is on the battlefield. You kill her, you win the war, which is very rare.
Yeah.
And that's what they were all fucking advising from the beginning. Like, you die, that's it. It's fucking done. You know what I'm saying? Your campaign is over.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens now with Jaime and Bronn now that they're pretty much captured now. As soon as they get out of that water, it's going to be,
That was the only thing I
whoever's
didn't
left
like about
alive.
the whole episode was that when he was falling into the water. I'm like, well, they were in shallows. how did he sink that far down? It's like he's sinking like in
Oh,
the middle
well-
of the fucking down in the ocean and shit. I'm like, all reality, that should have been like a couple like fucking feet of water. That should have been it.
Well, apparently in the books, and it's funny because I had the same reaction. I was like, whoa, how deep? What kind of crazy lake is this? But apparently in the books, that's the reason why they call it black water. I forgot what the name of the that is, but it's because of that. Because 1 minute it's literally water you can walk on, and the next like 2 feet off it's so deep, it's so far down. So it has,
Okay,
like,
I got you. It's got some
it
type
has
of
these-
mystical kind of realm.
Yeah, it's
type-ish
like
thing
hills
going
and
to it.
valleys underneath water. Yeah, it's like, imagine you have hills and valleys underneath water where it's like 1 minute you're on solid ground, the next minute you could fall to the bottom of the hill. So that makes a lot more sense, because I was like, yeah, that's so weird. Like, the dude was literally running on water with his horse, and the next minute they're falling to what looks like an abyss. But that's because that's the reason why. That's its name. It gets its name from that.
Okay, that makes sense. All right.
But it's gonna be interesting to see the next episode. I can't wait. This was an exciting episode. It had action. It had everything. It had
It had
everything
your
that Game of Thrones always
reunions. It
has.
had everything. The only
Had
thing it was missing
reunions.
was the TNA, and that's it. And other than that, it's a fucking complete episode.
Oh, you know we'll get that in soon. You know that Game of Thrones, whenever you don't see it for a while, they give you like tenfold. They're like,
Well, there was no room for it in
like-
this episode whatsoever. That was it.
yeah.
Yeah, not unless fucking John and fucking Khaleesi are gonna get it on in that cave.
That would have been funny. That would have been interesting.
would've
But
been
yeah,
out of
solid solid episode for me. It sounds like solid episode. Really great episode for you too as well. But yeah, tell us what you thought. What did you think about this episode? Leave us comments of anything we might have missed or anything you want to talk about. Also, don't forget to subscribe and follow us on Twitter at Convo. And as always, we'll see you next time.